Tommy, first day back yesterday at Ballymore. How's the body feeling after your first session of the year?
Yeah, pretty sore, mate. Pretty sore. It was a pretty easy session, to be fair, though. But yeah, after a long holiday, it's good to get back in the swing of things and get started for the 25 season.
So off your socials, boys look like they're getting around each other. Good energy heading into 25.
Yeah, mate, we're all excited. Like I came really excited yesterday. I think it's probably the most excited I've been coming back. Just knowing what we managed to do last year and how good the vibes were around the place. Like it's a good environment to come back to, and I was really keen for it.
Obviously, you had a bit of time before the Chrissy break, but take me through a day one with Les. He's always full of beans. Is it laying down your expectations of the year, or what goes on in day one under Les?
Yeah, just a few key messages to, or sort of themes to get around for the year. But yeah, started out with a meeting, energetic as usual, and then just split off into units and do other meetings and gym sessions, and then finish with a field session. So, energy's high as always, and that's the way we kind of like it around here now.
How do you reflect on the year that was for yourself? I mean, and the first Wallabies gig as well must have been a dream come true. And well, what's next for you here?
Yeah, no, it was a dream year. I'm really happy with what I managed to accomplish last year, but there's plenty more still to go. And hopefully we get on that road this year, starting with the super season and taking care of that.
How'd you find that step up to the test level? What do you take from it now, heading back to Reds football?
No, it was good. Being in that environment, I learned a lot. Being around some of the other boys from super clubs and becoming friends with some of them and just spending time with them, it was really good. And plus the coaching as well. You definitely learn a lot from that and take it back into the super season and try and develop my game.
You've got a Lions tour coming up as well. Is that something you've circled in on your radar as something you really want to force your name into?
Yeah, well, I think everyone in Australia that plays rugby has sort of done that. Try and head towards that and aim for it. But as I said, I want to take care of the Super Rugby season first. That's my priority this year at the moment. So look after that first, and then hopefully the rest will follow for myself and everyone else.
Last year was spoken a bit about the role that James O'Connor played behind the scenes with you and Harry in particular. Now that he's gone across the ditch, you feel ready to really just be your own player and be the one setting the tempo here?
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, Harry and I both work really well together. I love working with Harry. He's a great guy. And he's got a lot to offer as well, and I learn quite a bit from him. He's always talking in meetings and suggesting ideas, and we sort of bounce off each other, which is really good. So I'm really happy and keen to work with him and Les and Brad as well.
Having had that taste, playing for the Wallabies, was it tough not getting involved in the spring tour?
Oh yeah, I mean, that was sort of a thing I wanted to do last year, get involved with the spring tour and travel around the UK and play in different spots. But in the end, I managed to go on a Reds tour and then join up with Australia A afterwards and got some good minutes in 3 games, I think. So I'm pretty happy I ended up doing that and taking everything that I learnt from the Wallaby camps into actual games and playing.
What were some of those things that you learned that you're able to then take to that?
I'll keep those to myself, mate.
Tommy, what's the feedback been? Obviously, heading into Wallaby camp from tomorrow down in Sydney, must have been some good news coming from Joe. Can you share a bit of what's been talked about to work on and what the Wallaby staff liked about what they saw for Aussie?
Yeah, well, kicking's been a big part of my game, and they still want me to work on and develop all kinds of areas. In terms of kicking, whether it's attacking kicking or just clearing a kick, goal kicking especially. That was one of my poor parts in the Super Rugby season. I thought I didn't goal kick as well as I'd like to. So that's always a continuous work on for me. But again, sort of playing at the line and picking right decisions, I think is a big work on and something I have been working on. And I feel a lot more confident and comfortable doing that. So that's sort of the things that they've sort of demanded from me.
A lot of talk, obviously, around you and HMP as stepping into James's role, but also had Mason Gordon come in, Jude Gibbs come in. There's plenty of competition in the Reds playmaking stocks at the moment. Must be good to hone your craft.
Yeah, it's plenty of competition, and again, like I said, with Harry, everyone else, Jude and Mason, are all good blokes, and I've loved spending time with them so far. I've known Mason for a bit, but I met Jude yesterday, and he seems like a great bloke. So it's all good, and we can all bounce off each other and learn from each other, which is what you sort of want around here. And competition drives improvement, so it's good to have.
You guys have brought in some hell of a forward recruits as well. You're going to have a bit of a monster pack to play behind. But what does that do for your game? We saw your running game really coming along throughout the year. Will we expect to see more of that?
Yeah, well, we had a great forward pack last year, and they did really good for us. Got a lot of front foot ball, and that makes it makes the job easy as a 10, just playing behind them. So we've got that, and then we've got electric backs on the outside. So, I've sort of got a lot to play with, and it's really exciting heading into the year.
Sort of facing the prospect of a full-strength game day squad, 3 or 4 blokes who have played for the Wallabies not even making that team week to week. Are you expecting particularly intense summer here fighting for those 23 spots?
Yeah, well, it's always like that. We got a squad of 40 guys or so. So it's everyone's fighting for a spot. Everyone wants to play, and like I said, that competition just drives everyone to be better and fight for the spots.
This might not be for your area, but at the end of the year, a lot of conjecture over whether Joe will be going right through to the World Cup. Super Rugby coaches are being spoken about. You've experienced Les here. You've experienced the test environment. Could Les, in your eyes, theoretically fill that role in the future?
Yeah, look, I mean, it's above my pay grade, mate. I don't really know what's going on, to be honest. So, yeah, I can't comment on that. No.
Les has had a bit of experience over in the UK, so have you now with the Aussie A game. Boys must be getting pretty excited to head over to Bristol and Ulster.
Yeah, we're all pretty excited. Some of the boys haven't been over there or played over there or too often, but it's a good time of the year to go over there. The weather should be lovely, nice and cold and windy. But no, Bristol and Ulster will both be tough games. They're both great teams. Bristol's up at the top end of the premiership, and Bristol's a great place to play too. It's a great stadium, great field, and different conditions to what we'd normally play down here. So boys will take a lot from it and learn a lot from it. But yeah, it'd be good to head back up there again.
Any yarns from Jeff or from Leslie, those boys that have been involved with Ulster?
Not too much. I'm sure more will come once we're over there. But yeah, we're just building towards that at the moment.
You spent a lot of last year getting pretty physically targeted by defenders as well and wore a lot on your shoulder there. Now you've been exposed to test footy, you're going to get exposed to European footy. Do you feel physically tougher and ready for more of that this season?
Yeah, well, I felt pretty good last year. As you said, I got targeted quite a lot, and that sort of happens when you're a little 10. So, you expect that stuff, and you can't shy away from it. It's part of the game. So, you got to step up and do your job, and I'll try and do the same again this year.
Is dealing with that a mental thing as much as it is like a physical thing?
Not really. I mean, once you've been exposed to it, you sort of you know what it's like, and you don't really think about it at all. Really, it's just part of the game, and you sort of do it in training anyway. So you train for it, and you do it in the game.
You didn't play that Bristol game in the Aussie Tour, but I think there were 5 or 6 Reds guys that did.
Yeah.
What was the feedback from them on the style? You mentioned they're top of the league over there, and the style that they're going to play, and I guess what you can get from that game playing against them over there later this month and bring it to Super Rugby.
Mm-hmm. No, they play a pretty fast game of rugby and very attacking. So I've been watching them for quite a few years, and they've always been like that. They sort of don't kick inside their own 22, which is pretty brave, but they do it well, and they get reward from it. So we can take something from that too, just mixing it up a bit and keeping teams guessing.
Couple for me quickly, and then Christy, you can jump in, mate. Tom, we're already past our membership sales from last year. Tickets have gone on sale to the general public today. Big boost in attendances last year. Does it feel like there's an increase in enthusiasm and support for the Reds here throughout your time in Brisbane? Yeah, definitely. I mean, we can definitely feel the buzz. You sort of saw that, how many people came to that Wales game. Sort of shows, post-season footy, just a friendly game against Wales. It was cool to see Suncorp packed out, and hopefully that continues this year. Like I said, the membership sales have gone through last year, so that's great to see, and it's definitely positive, and all of us at the Reds can feel that. Obviously, some really strong performances at home last year as well. How important is it to turn Suncorp Stadium into a bit of a fortress? We know that Queensland fans will get behind a winning team. Do you feel that it's, I guess, a relationship that works both ways, where if you guys continue to put on good performances at home, the crowds will continue to come? Yeah, well, we can definitely feel that support every time it's there. You can hear the noise. Suncorp's a very loud stadium, so every time we're on the field, we can definitely feel it, and fans definitely get behind us, and we can feel that. So hopefully that continues again this year. Do you think that makes it a difficult place for opposition teams to come? Yeah, well, we'd like to make it an intimidating place to come and play, and I think last year we sort of built on that. And again, hopefully we can do that again this year. Christy, you there, mate?
Yeah, Pete. Cheers, mate. Hey, Tom, how are you? Can you just tell us a little bit about your break? And it's a pretty big year that you had last year. Did you spend much time up north? What were you doing? And how did you spend Christmas and so forth?
Yeah, I spent, after that Australian A game against England there, I spent quite a bit of time at home. Oh, not home. I spent quite a bit of time in England and in Italy, just staying around with family. So it was nice to see them again after a long period away. And then I came back here just before Christmas and had a tonsillectomy. So my Christmas and New Year's was spent recovering from that, not eating or drinking. So that was nice.
Did you get the chance to watch your brother play up in Italy at all? And what was it like being around your old man a little bit? What did he kind of have to say of the year?
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to watch him play. He wasn't picked for the Italy All Blacks game that I ended up going to. But I got to saw him, which is, arguably better than watching him play. But no, it was just good to be around Dad again. Played a lot of golf with him. He didn't win a single game, so I'm sure he wasn't too happy with that. But no, it was good to be spending time with him again.
Just your, I know you kind of spoke a little bit about the mental and the physical toll. Like, what was it like last year, battling a couple of different injuries? Are you able to give us a bit more insight to how it was, and do you think you'll be able to have a longer run this year?
Yeah, well, I'm hoping so, mate. It was pretty tough last year at some points, just battling little niggles every now and then. So it was getting pretty frustrating at some points. But look, I mean, since they've all happened, I've been trying to stay on the field as much as I can and do everything I can to do that. Because ultimately, it's my job, and I'm a rugby player and I want to play rugby. I don't want to sit on the sidelines and watch it. So. Continuously working towards that and staying fit and healthy.
Yeah, public and the media, you rarely kind of get a proper insight to what's actually happening there, so kind of good to find that out. Tomorrow there's a Wallabies camp. I'm a bit surprised you're even at Ballymore today, because I'm currently at the Tars and there's no Wallabies guys here. Have you been, first, second day there? What's the point of coming in for a couple of days before the Wallabies camp?
No, it's just to get running again and get training. Like I said, I had a tonsillectomy just before Christmas, so I couldn't do any training over that period. So I've only been running or so for about a week. So it was more just to come in and get the legs sticking over and just get a few meters in me before I head over to Sydney. But yeah, no other Wallaby boys are here at the moment, so it was just all about that.
Right, and last one from me. What was the best thing about 2024, and what was the worst thing about it?
Right. Best thing's probably making my Wallaby debut. That's obviously been a dream of mine since I was a kid, and to achieve that was a pretty special moment. Worst thing, oh geez, mate. There weren't too many bad things really. It was a pretty good year for me in the end. But if I had to pick one, doing media. There you go. No.
Tonsillectomy would have been good.
Yeah, well, that actually, there you go. Tonsillectomy, not being able to celebrate Christmas or New Year's. So, there you go.
All right. Thanks, Tom.
Oh, good. Cheers,
Thanks,
Christy.
Christy. Thanks, mate. Anything else, guys?